Okay. Now, let's talk about the Ḍaʿīf stuff. So we haven't talked about the strength yet, right? By the way, question, do we check the authenticity of the Sahaba? No, we don't. Do we check their accuracy? Yes. They're different levels. Okay, now, broken chain. Okay, so right now we talked about the continuous chain. Remember, now we're talking about the categories for the chain's continuity. So we talked about the musalsal and we talked about the musnad. Musnad meaning it's connected all the way to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then there is the muttasil, which is connected all the way to the companions, and then there's musalsal. That's fine. Now we're going to talk about the broken part. Okay, so I don't have all these memorized. There's a lot of terminology, but I'm only sharing this with you not because I love to, bother you with details. I'm just showing the concepts. That's all. Why is it important, right? So the first category is mursal. Mursal, meaning the ending narrator is missing. So you can have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reporting to a companion, reporting to a tabi'i, reporting to a student, reporting to a student, reporting to a student. Okay, so this is a normal chain, what this looks like, right? So here's one hadith. So this is a tabi'i saying Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Follow? That's called a mursal. Hurried. Do we take these into consideration? Yes, we do. Because why? Because this tabi'i does not just have one hadith, right? He has many probably hadith, and he checks out because he says, I heard from Umar radiallahu anhu, I heard from Ali radiallahu anhu, I heard from Ibn Abbas, I heard from Ibn Umar, I heard from XYZ, right? So he checks out. He's a good, he's got, if somebody checks out to say 5,000 times, he checks out. One time when he is skipping, are you going to believe him? Yeah. You understand? Make sense? Okay. So that's called a mursal. You clear? You see why it's important though. You see it's important that it's a mursal hadith. Okay? So there's many hadiths like that. Okay? Okay, the next one is munqatiʿ. Munqatiʿ means somewhere or another it's cut off. It could be two or more, no, not two or more, but somewhere it's cut off. Like either this person didn't say, some person is missing, or some person is unknown. I heard from my aunt's sister's nephew. Who's that guy? I don't know. Does the guy check out? I don't know. But one person, that's munqatiʿ, it's broken, right? And then there is muʿḍal. Muʿḍal means two people are missing. Right? So that's a significant, big break. Huge. Okay, problematic. Right? So all of this will do what? It will make the hadith automatically ضعيف. Yes? Automatically. Any break. Remember, sahih has to be continuous. Hasan is Hasan because why? Just to remind you, everything checks out, just the accuracy is a little bit low. Right? Not super accurate, but just a little bit low. That's Hasan. Ḍaʿīf I told you, has many categories. This is one of the categories. Broken chain. If the chain is broken anywhere, it's broken. It's ضعيف. Clear? Okay, this is why I have the ضعيف label here. There's many ضعيف categories, so I've simplified it a little bit. Okay? The way you're seeing this now, by the way, you will not find this anywhere. This is only in my notes, I promise you. Okay? This is through years of learning about this. Okay? Okay. The other is Muḥallaq. Muḥallaq is what? Umar radiallahu anhu said, Rasulullah said, Muḥallaq. Mu'allaq means hanging. Hanging meaning, where's the chain? We just looked at a Mu'allaq hadith just now, earlier. It was a maqtu' hadith, which was also a Mu'allaq. Maqtu' meaning the tabi'i is saying it, but also a Mu'allaq because it had no isnad. Right? Clear? Making sense? Sahih Bukhari, not his actual hadith, but remember the intros I'm talking about for every section, has tons of mu'allaqat. Tons. Are those authentic ahadith? Nobody calls them authentic, they still call them mu'allaq because it doesn't meet authentic criteria. But Imam Bukhari brought it for a reason. Okay? So anyway, so let's look at some example of mu'allaq. So here's the section on wudu in Bukhari. So remember I told you there's topics. Imam made his point and then he brought his evidences. So you guys kind of have an idea of Imam Bukhari's style, right? He was a genius at so many levels. Anyway, so he's talking about the chapter of what has been revealed about the wudu, and he starts sometimes with an ayah. He starts with his fiqh with an ayah. We're proving his point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ. This is Surah Ma'idah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the ayah of wudu. Okay? So when you stand for prayer, فَاغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ, wash your face, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ, and wash your arms. أيديكم, aid means hands and arms, both. Okay? وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, until the elbows. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ, and do masah on your head. Okay, I'm just rough translating this. I can talk about literally this hadith for like 5 hours. Not hadith, I'm sorry, this ayah. It has so many different dimensions. I'm not even talking about that. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ, and your feet, إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ, until the ankles. Okay, so this is an ayah. Then he says, Imam Bukhari, قال Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah said. Imam Bukhari met Abu Abdullah? No, he didn't. So it's a mu'allaq hadith. He said that a sahabi said, وَبَيَّنَ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن فرض الوضوء مرة, that it is evidenced from Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم that wudu is one time, which means one time you do gargling, one time it is mandatory to do one time gargling, one time the wash your nose, one time you wash your arms. It's fine. Okay? Anyway, we'll learn about the fiqh part, but this is true. Okay? Only one time is mandatory, 3 times is sunnah. What does that mean? If you don't know, we'll talk about that later, inshallah. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an idea. So this is a hadith mu'allaq. Tons in Bukhari. Mu'allaqat. There is books written on the Mu'allaqat al-Bukhari. Books written on this topic. Okay? Alright, good. So now we kind of have the categories of broken chain. So broken chain, what? You can have the sahabi missing, or you can have people in the middle missing. If there's a lot of people missing, it really is a huge problem, right? And missing doesn't mean missing. It could also be somebody unknown, right? Okay, good. All right, now let's talk about the other category of, let me cover this, I think. You guys okay to go on? Everybody's like brain fried right now. It's okay to go on? Okay, I think you guys are enjoying this a little bit too much, I think. Okay, mashallah, this is great. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so the chain could be continuous, okay? But it could be ambiguous. How could it be ambiguous? Okay. So I say, Abdurrahim said, and let's say Abdurrahim is not here in this room. Abdurrahim said the sky is blue. Is this a true statement? It's a true statement that the sky is blue. Did I really hear Abdurrahim say that though? No, maybe not. How does anybody know that if I say Abdurrahim said the sky is blue? Uh, why? There's a reason I'm attributing it to Abdurrahim, because he's a trustworthy guy. Everybody loves him in the community. So I'm just going to use him and say I heard him say, because I don't really have credibility. I need support. I need somebody else stronger than me to support my statement. I know the statement is true, but I need support. You understand? So this is called Tadlis. It's not always devious. I gave you a little bit of a devious example. But let's say there's like I told you, this is complex. So Tadlis has this whole huge chapters in the books of Hadith. And we could talk about it till we're blue in the face. So this is one example of Tadlis. So this is a hidden defect. Like, how would you know somebody's a Mudallas? Somebody is doing Tadlis. Like he's indirectly mentioning somebody, attributing the chain to somebody that he never met or he never actually heard, right? So that's called Mudallas. And there's some known Mudallasin, and those are like experts of Hadithun that they know. There's other kind of Tadlis as well. So you could let's say I heard from Abdurrahim, right? But I don't like him. I want to skip him. So I'm going to go, I heard his teacher say. Right? I don't like him. That's why I skipped him. So that's Tadlis. But the chain up on the face looks continuous, but only the experts can tell if that guy skipped somebody, okay? This is very, very complex. I'm not going to go too much deeper into this, but there's some known Mudallisun. Here's one example, for example. Hushaym narrated to us from, this is Imam Ahmad saying, Hushaym narrated to us from Yazid Abu Ziyad, and so-and-so to Al-Bara bin Azib. So it is known that Hushaym was a Mudallis. So you have to be just careful that whenever you hear a hadith, So does it mean hadith is wrong? No. But if the guy is doing too much tadlis, too much, you're going to be careful about taking hadith from that guy. You understand? Make sense? There's too much tadlis going on. Why is he doing tadlis? Like, what is he trying to hide? Right? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Then, and there's tons of hadith like this. Muḥannan. Okay? Remember I told you that let's just pick any hadith. You're going to find pretty much any hadith. Okay. Here's an example already. Let me just share with you. I'm going to make it super large so you guys see it. And I'm going to show you the English part too, inshallah. حدثناه Abu Abbas. So Abu Abbas narrated it to us. Abu Abbas Muhammad bin Yaqub. That's the name of the guy. It's not the Sahabi ibn Abbas. It's the teacher of the Muhaddith Hakim. Okay? So he's a collector. Al-Mustadrak al-Hakim, very, very famous book of hadith. This is from there. Okay. So Abu Abbas Muhammad bin Yaqub, he narrated it to us. Anba'a al-Rabi'. So al-Rabi' informed us. Okay, so listen to the words of the chain. It's important. He's saying he told us. So that's evidence that, not evidence, but it's very clear. It's a very direct link. He told me, right? He told us. He informed us, right? So far so good? Everybody good? Okay. Anba'a al-Shafi'i. Al-Shafi'i informed us. Okay, so clearly I was somewhere where I was informed by this person. Right? Clear? Anba'a Malik. By the way, this is Imam Shafi'i and Imam Malik, okay? Anba'a Malik. Malik informed us an Zayd. From Zayd. From. What did you hear? Like, did you overhear? Were you there? Did he really tell? Did Zayd actually tell Imam Malik? You understand what's going on? An, from, very generic. Okay, again, this is a very, very deep topic. An is not bad. An is bad for some people. For Imam Malik, an is not bad. Imam Malik was in Medina. When he uses an, we take his an. We take his from. Because he had hundreds of teachers that were tabi'un, and all of these people were like, he checks out. Okay, Imam Malik is Imam Malik for a reason. He checks out many dimensions. When he says from Zayd, you say, okay, yes sir, you heard from Zayd. Okay, so it is almost like him saying haddathana, he told me, right? So Zayd told me. So when he says an, so and then there's another, I think this was the only one, Zayd bin Aslam, an Sa'id bin Musayyib. So this is a sahabi from Sa'id bin Musayyib, because Imam Malik had lived among the time when there was a tabi'un in Medina, but he himself didn't. He was a tabi'i, and some people say he was a tabi'i, but regardless, whatever the case may be. And then he didn't meet Sahaba, right? Okay. That, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن بيع اللحم بالحيوان. Okay? By the way, did you see the chain, how beautiful it is? Imam Shafi'i was a student of Imam Malik. You learned something. Imam Shafi'i was a student of Imam Malik, and there's a chain going from Imam Shafi'i all the way to the collector, Muhaddis al-Hakim, rahimahullah. Okay, it's beautiful. But I don't know. But once you kind of get into this, you kind of know these personalities. It's like you kind of have a relationship with them. Amazing people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on all of them among us. Okay, so far so good. You guys understand the an part? Okay, the from. Here's another one. It's called Muʻannan. Somebody says an, anna, that he. It's a very similar concept. It's ambiguous. It's ambiguous. Like, were you there? Did you hear or did you not hear? Were you informed? Were you not informed? If you just say from. So if like an ordinary Joe Schmo says something that I heard from, not I heard, Rasulullah said XYZ. Oh, who did you hear it from? I heard it from, no, I heard it from XYZ, from Abdurrahim. So, it just lacks credibility a lot, okay? So it hurts the chain, the strength of the chain becomes weak. Did Imam Bukhari, he used a lot of an. Imam Bukhari used a lot of Bukhari because he's an Einstein, okay? Rahimahullah. He was teasing you. Because sometimes when between two people, between narrator 1 and narrator 2, if he used a from in one place, in another place he will say narrator 1 heard from narrator 2. So he supports his an with a connected, verifiable support. So he will say, haddathna, this person, instead of the from. Is this going over your head? Sorry, I got too passionate there for a second. Okay. All right. I think you guys are almost done. I'm almost done, inshallah. This is a large section. We can stop here. Let's open the room for questions. Fascinating. You see how the mind of the muhaddis works now? A piece of it. We haven't done the rest of it yet. It's the most complex science in Islam. Most complex. And we've only done the top level categories. There's subcategories. Okay? Subhanallah.
What are these guidelines for the dictionary to understand the hadith or to draw a conclusion from a certain
I have a whole class that inshallah I will do as a beginner. How should you go and approach hadith? Okay, roughly speaking, don't DIY. Okay, do it yourself. Do not. Okay, ask people of knowledge. You have to have a lot of patience. Sometimes you won't have a lot of answers. But anyway, inshallah, I will do a whole class on just that. Okay, because that's the point what I want to get to. Right now, I'm just gonna super confuse you because that's what I want to do. Because it is. You see, it's so difficult for me to have an opinion. When you say, oh, this is a hadith, this is Ḍaʿīf, or is it a Hasan, or is it Sahih? I'm gonna go, I don't know. If it's not in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, even if it's in some of the other books like Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, and those, I'm gonna have to check. Different muhaddithin, they categorize differently. Some will say this is fabricated, because some will say, oh, it's ضعيف. I'm not gonna call it fabricated. I'm not gonna be so bold that I'm gonna call it fabricated. Some will say, oh, it's not authentic. They won't even use the hadith, ضعيف or whatever. So what I'm saying is, you have to really have a lot of knowledge to interpret the grades of the hadith. Some will say for a hadith that is considered inauthentic, but it's not this sahih. What do you do? What do you do? It's that its chain is authentic, but its body has problems. Like, and we let me jump ahead just on that point, because I think this is going to be a good punchline for tonight, inshallah. Very, very good punchline. I want you to use your brain, because you attended my previous classes. Because this is for those who attended my previous classes. Read this hadith. Don't worry about the chain, but read the hadith. And you were in that class too.
That's one of the famous hadiths, especially during the rise of the Taliban.
It has authentic isnad. Authentic. What's the problem with it? And why? In hadith books, people are going to write sahih, 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 by the way. Okay? Don't be fooled. And this is a very famous hadith. It's used a lot. But it has a problem. A huge problem. Come on.
It's the same thing. It says,
No. A chain is authentic. It has nothing to do with the chain. I'm talking about the body, the content of the hadith, the one in black.
I think it's talking about something else.
Do you know who the Khawarij are?
No.
Okay, then you guys know. The previous classes, there's a reason we did those classes. When did the Khawarij come? When did that term start? Way after Rasulullah Sallallahu 30, 40 years after Rasulullah Sallallahu. Why would Rasulullah Sallallahu use a term? Why would he use a term that was concocted 40 years after? And remember, I told you why hadith authenticity began to begin with is because of the schisms that was happening. People breaking off into different sects and all of this, and people blaming each other. Here's an example. Somebody who doesn't like the Khawarij said, the messengers of Allah said, Khawarij are the dogs of hell. By the way, would Rasulullah ﷺ use this language? No. This is not his language. He does not speak, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this way. He does not speak this way. And you don't know that because you haven't read hadith. Because you don't know how he speaks. This is not like, with the little knowledge that I have, right, just a little bit, just the 2 hadiths that I've read in my life, I know Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam doesn't speak this way. Number 1. And the term he's using didn't exist. 3, it is political. It's a political hadith. It is not a religious hadith. Is it a religious hadith? Is it telling you anything about the Khawarij at all? No. It's a political hadith. It's got a problem. It's got lots of problems. You see what I'm saying? Authentic isnad. In books of hadith, you'll see authentic. Scares you? Yes, you all should be scared. This is why I'm doing this class. I don't want people to just go and read hadith and just read one authenticity and go, oh, this is strong, this is sahih. No, you don't know. You don't know jack. Okay? So, barakallahu fikum. Anyway, I wanted to end with this punchline. Answer your question? Yes.
So the hadiths they're in Sahih Bukhari. They are like authentic or
Yes.
is
Sahih Bukhari, eyes closed, you can read. But should you be reading it? If you want to get, if you want to feel closer to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that's great. Just read Riyadh al-Salihin, okay? Because Sahih Bukhari, I'm not there yet, but it covers a lot of different topics that are just going to end up just confusing you, because it's not meant for you. It's not written for normal people. It's written for scholars. Sahih Bukhari is written for scholars. Riyadh al-Salihin is written for normal people, to bring them closer to the Sunnah, closer to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, closer to the Deen. It has encouraging hadith, Riyadh al-Salihin. Pick it up, read it. Okay, if you really want to read hadith, please read Riyadh al-Salihin. Don't read Muslim. Don't read Sahih Bukhari. I'm not saying because they're not authentic. I'm just saying because you don't know enough, and you'll just end up getting confused. Because there's a lot of different topics in there. You go, where did this come from? Like, for example, that monkey hadith of the monkeys. Like, if you read that, you're like, what? What's going on here? And then you start to doubt, and you ask silly questions, and you Google on there, and suddenly you see, oh, there's a hadith in Bukhari about monkeys. It's there. I promise you. Google it. Okay, just go Google it, and it's saying this and this, and Islam is this and Islam is that. You're gonna go into that tangent. You follow what I'm saying? And you don't know enough. Like, who said it? It was a tabi talking about the time of ignorance. Has nothing to do with the deen. So don't. Yes. Who are Khawarij? That requires that requires 3 hours. I have it on video. I promise you. You can do it in 1 hour. Basically, there was the first split in our ummah that was based on aqidah happened. Long story short, there was a lot of fitna at the time of Ali radiallahu anhu. Okay, the Muslims were fighting amongst each other. Okay, and there were people that were not. They were not Sahabis. They didn't spend time with Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but they became new Muslims. They were new Muslims. They had their own thought process about what being a Muslim is, and they started to disagree with. Something happened, and they're like, "You all are kafir." So even to the Sahabis, they called Ali radiallahu anhu kafir. We call them Khawarij. Khawarij means those who exited the majority. Okay, we call Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah the people of Sunnah and the majority, right? So anybody who breaks away from Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is a Khariji, is an exiter, it's somebody who exits. Very complex, deep story. I'm just giving you just the name so that you get an idea. Okay. So that's why I said it's a political hadith. Yes.
You use the term tabi'in, tabi'un. I've also heard tabi'in, tabi'un, tabi'in, tabi'un. So who are they actually? If you
Sure.
just tell me.
Sure. So you have Sahabi. So there's a definition of the Sahabi. Sahabi is somebody who actually met Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Either if he wasn't a Muslim, became a Muslim at the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. While he met him, he was a Muslim. Okay? One time or another. In the middle, he could become a kafir, but he needs to die as a Muslim. That's a Sahabi. Okay? And that's a later definition. There's many other definitions. I don't want to confuse you. Okay? I'm telling you, each topic in Hadith is deep.
But
Yes.
Khawarij were following Islam. They were Muslims.
Yeah, Muslims. They believe in Allah. They believe in Rasulullah. They're Muslims. But who did they not believe? The companions. They called them all kafir. So they don't believe in the companions. Okay. I'm making a very general statement, by the way. Okay? The topic is much deeper. So you were asking about, so you understand the Sahabi? So Tabi'i is somebody who has not met the Prophet, but they have met the companions, the Sahaba. So they're students of the Sahaba. They're tabi'i. So they are second generation. Clear? Second generation from Rasulullah. Tabi'i is somebody who has not met a Sahabi. They've only met a tabi'i. They are tabi'i. They're third generation. Clear? Sahaba, tabi'un, tabi'un. Third generation. Yes. Good. Questions? You guys love this stuff. I see that. That's very nice. Yes. Yes.
You said a Ḍaʿīf Hadith, right? Is when a companion is missing?
No. There's so many reasons for Ḍaʿīf Hadith. So many reasons. We touched on a few. Yeah.
Last week.
Can you, so I have a whole, YouTube channel. Are you guys on the WhatsApp
No,
group?
it's not in that group.
Can you add them? You want me to share the link or something with you guys? I can make a QR code and you can scan it. Would you like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you guys are coming into the thick of it. Just to get to this point, subhanallah, I've been torturing these guys for many hours. We've had 23 classes before this. Because I didn't want to talk about this before talking about all of that. Because then you are coming in really with weak foundation. You don't know enough. Right? And you're going to get all confused. So this was a really deep, rich topic which required, 20 classes before. Yeah? You follow me? Okay. I know you guys are getting... Yeah, please.